Just a quick heads up, the Holy Hive Show does contain adult language that may not be suitable for sensitive listeners and children. Hello, Utahns, and welcome to the Holy Hive Show for Tuesday, Spooktober 13th.
Spooktober 13th.
I'm your host, Jordan Delacruz, and with me is the producer of the show, Dan Lawler. Dan, did you have a good weekend?
I most certainly did. I had a little weekend spa getaway up at Snowbird.
Ooh.
I got to touch snow for the first time this year.
Little staycation?
For the first time this season. Little staycation, yeah, for sure.
Was that Saturday night? I think Saturday night was when the weather kind of turned.
Yeah, we went up Saturday night. We went up Saturday afternoon at like 3 p.m. and then woke up the next morning and it was a snowing.
Pretty nice?
Yeah, it was really nice.
I bet. Yeah, I had a pretty good weekend too, except for a night that I had out.
You had a night out.
I had a night out, and I have some things to talk about, but we'll get into that as we get into the stories today.
All right.
Today on the show, we're going to do a little news, touching down on topics such as pandemic real estate, city symbolism, and little rodents with COVID-19. Then we'll wrap up the show with our very own 2020 local restaurant food draft, where we draft our own list of restaurants. After we do the draft, we're going to post the results on Instagram and Twitter at Holy Hive Utah, and you can vote on whose draft came out the best. So a little bit of friendly competition.
Sure.
Did you bring your A game?
I brought my A game.
You feel confident in your list?
My appetite game.
But first, we're going to dive into the ongoing saga of Utah's battle with COVID-19.
COVID-19.
In today's edition of the COVID Corner. And since this is an ongoing segment,
yeah,
I thought it deserved...
Did you brew up a drop?
I brewed up a drop.
You brewed up a drop.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go to the COVID Corner.
Corona. With my Corona. Corona. With my Corona.
Oh, that's beautiful. I absolutely love the sneeze.
Had to spice it up a little bit. I just literally saw these Snoop Dogg Corona commercials. Yeah. I just pulled from that.
I love it.
Right on. So what's going on with COVID-19 in Utah this week, Dan?
Nothing great. Since we spoke to you last Tuesday, we have had 8,109 new cases and 40 new deaths. Jeez. Just in the 1 week. We did surpass 500 deaths last week, which wasn't great. We broke our record for single day cases yet again with 1,501. Got to get that extra one in there.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's not looking great. And I don't know if you have seen any of the press conferences that Governor Herbert's doing, but it's really starting to get Groundhog Day like.
Where he's saying the same thing over and over again?
I feel like I've heard him say like, "Oh, Utahns love their neighbors." So many times.
Yeah, it's like this, like, we got to stick together. It's like, no, we got to stick apart.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know my neighbors. I've not spoken to any of the people that live on any side of me in my apartment building, so I don't know so much about the neighbor thing, but yeah, it's not looking great. Yesterday, Monday, we had we broke our percent positive record, which was previously in the high teens, low 20s. Now it's at 22.7% positive.
This is the number of positive tests out of total administered tests.
Yeah, in a given day, correct.
So not only are we getting more cases, but the cases are getting pretty thick.
Yeah, and that just, from what I've heard from epidemiologists and whatnot, that just indicates that there are people who are sick and who have confirmed cases that are not getting tested. If we're having that high of a positive rate, that just means that people aren't getting tested, which is an article that appeared in the Salt Lake Tribune on Monday about the growing number of Utahns who are just kind of refusing to get tested out of some, I don't know, some purpose. They believe, I guess, it's the way to stay off the government's radar. I have no idea,
it's like
honestly.
Personal. I don't know if it's personal pride or is it like a political thing?
Yeah, I think everything at this point is kind of like a political thing, unfortunately.
Attitude. Yeah, why did this have to happen in an election year?
I know. Truly.
Yeah, and I mean, I got tested, I think, about a month ago, and I already feel like I should maybe just go get tested again. Like
random tests?
Yeah, just every now and then.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Sam Finlayson, I apologize if I butchered that name, but he's the head of surgery at the University of Utah. Mm-hmm. And this tweet really struck me. Utah's COVID numbers keep climbing. We're canceling surgeries, but not youth sports. What's wrong with this picture? That was a great question.
It's just people. Okay, so this kind of ties into what I was going to say about my weekend.
Yeah.
So had a birthday celebration this weekend.
Okay.
And
happy birthday.
Decided to go out with the thought that maybe we could find a place. Well, it all started because downtown they're doing this thing with Main Street where they block off half of it and you can kind of walk freely. It was pretty cool. Like the setup was cool. And we kind of were like, maybe we can find a patio because it was just us and a few friends. We were like, maybe we can find a patio. We all have masks on. Let's just figure out a place where we can hang out for a bit. So we went to a local bar with a patio out front.
Is the bar going to remain nameless?
I won't say their name, but it rhymes with fake effect.
Oh, okay.
And
Drake effect?
Drake effect, yeah.
Wow.
It's something along those terms. So we go to this bar and we asked them. We say, can you seat 9?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, we can seat 9. And so they bring us in. They're like, just go out to the patio and hang out there. And there's like a couple people out on the patio, and we're just kind of like sitting in our own corner with our masks on, like this doesn't feel very safe. And inside, usually if you go to a restaurant now, they have like 6 feet spaces between tables. There was like none of that.
Really?
Packed. The place was packed. And among some of the more bizarre things that I saw that night was a dude while we were just kind of sitting out on the patio, because like there was open tables, but we weren't taking them because there was people next to them.
Yeah.
And so we were just kind of like huddled up in our own little corner waiting for someone to leave so we could spread out a little bit more. A dude comes out, pulls out a joint, lights it just on the patio. There's a dude sitting right next to him, like shoulder to shoulder with him on a date with a girl.
Yeah.
Dude on the date asks if he can hit the joint. Guy passes the joint to him. Dude hits it. And then a guy comes flying by on a scooter, just past the patio on the street, sees this guy smoking a joint, asks if he can hit it. Dude passes it to the guy on the scooter and then back.
Wow.
And I was just like sitting here, like we were all just like, is this really happening?
That sounds like an episode of Impractical Jokers.
Right? Dude, I couldn't believe it. And I was sitting there and like, honestly, it was kind of like an anxiety riddled situation. And we were just like, let's just get a couple things and let's bail. And we bailed, after, just hanging out for a little bit, tried to make the best of it, but it was just like kind of uncomfortable. And my biggest takeaway from that experience, first of all, I was like, okay, going out is completely off the table now. Like not trying it again. That was our one like experiment to see if we could do it. Not happening. Maybe park, like going to a park or having like an apartment thing where you're just like small group of friends, controlled space. But my biggest takeaway was that like people aren't like listening.
No.
Like, people are just like don't care.
I have felt the same way as well in certain situations. And I do think that you're like, in terms of like you saying that going out is kind of just off the table. Like, yeah, it does kind of seem like that. I'm seeing from people that I'm friends with who are going out and stuff. I'm just like, oh, not great.
Yeah.
Like I would have to trust and kind of know the establishment. Like, we haven't been going back to Fisher.
Yeah.
And that is not at all because of how Fisher is responding to this. I believe that like they're doing a great job in terms of spacing and making sure that everything is safe. But I just don't feel safe really going out to a place where there are people that, lots of people in certain times, and it's just not something I'm super comfortable with currently. So I guess I'm kind of with you.
And like that was the thing, is like I was kind of hoping to find a situation like Fisher where they have like a policy in place and they have everything nice and spaced out and it's outside. And so I was like, let's go find a patio that we can sit on and maybe we can have a little normalcy. And then we go to this place and it's just everyone's crammed in there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, if the leaders don't like grab a hold of this thing and just say, okay, you know what, we're shutting things down again. We don't have to shut down the whole world, because I think how things are like how transmissions happen. Mm-hmm. We know a lot more about it now. And so we can kind of set boundaries and still kind of keep going in the world. Yeah.
I think that at the beginning of the pandemic, it was almost like we course corrected a bit too much because we didn't know anything. So like there were things that we were doing, I was wiping down every grocery I bought. And I'm not even saying that that's like out of like, I don't even think that's like a super insane thing to do.
No.
but it's not something I'm still doing.
No,
because
no.
I've read more about this virus and I know a little more about the virus. And
Yeah.
I do think that we could. And I mean, Herbert is currently not allowing Salt Lake to move back into the orange color code, which we have discussed the kind of
it doesn't mean anything.
ineffectiveness of those color codes anyway. But if it means that sort of stuff is either punished or completely done away with, where you have these patios that are not at all set up well.
Yeah.
And I do think that, that is pretty problematic.
Yeah. And so it's like, again, they're like businesses are always going to like push the limits of what they can do to make money. And we can still find ways that businesses can make money. Like Fisher, to their credit, they've been doing their own thing. They haven't been trying to like push the limits, pack people in and make money. They've just adapted to the times and they've done a great job. But there's a lot of businesses that'll just like, if we have enough space or if we have enough of a leash to get away with this, then we're going to do it. It's exactly like business owners acting like those kids in Provo who are like, they have the party and they're like, we abided by everything that the city said we had to do. And so there's a diffusion of responsibility.
For sure. And I think that's one of the reasons that we actually need someone to come in and like actually set some boundaries and make some harsher rules or harsher punishments, because things are clearly not working.
Yeah. But you know what? As long as we all stick together and
love our neighbors and hug our neighbors and maybe even French kiss our neighbors. Yeah.
Then everything will be fine. So thanks, Governor Herbert. All right. Let's move on to some news.
Explosion. Tornado.
Human remains.
Provo.
It's a freaking earthquake.
Explosion. Tornado.
Human remains.
Provo.
It's a freaking earthquake. Nothing bad ever happens in Utah.
As the pandemic ravages large cities around the country, it appears that the U.S. elite is flocking to rural areas for security and safety. This week, the Salt Lake Tribune reports that Park City is one of the areas seeing massive real estate returns from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wealthy buyers are grabbing expensive houses and land plots in low population areas around Wasatch and Summit County. Park City reports that they've seen a 62% increase in home sales throughout July and August compared to those same months in 2019. City employees speculate that this is due to the pandemic's effect on telecommuting and big companies in coastal cities not requiring their employees to be in the office anymore. The current median price for a home in Park City, it now sits just above $2 million. So Dan, seems like before the pandemic, coastal creep was already kind of happening.
Certainly.
And based on, experiences and stories that I've heard from like family and friends and a little digging, it seems like this same thing is happening in like Idaho, in Montana, and these kind of western coastal adjacent states,
Interesting.
But Utah, it's happening a lot in Utah. So I'm wondering, do you think this spells trouble for like younger generations born in Utah trying to just like buy homes in their own neighborhoods?
Oh, certainly. And I mean, kind of like you said, I do think that this trouble was already kind of in the works or already actively working before the pandemic started.
Mm-hmm. It just boosted it.
As someone who just loves looking through Zillow and getting anxiety at 1 a.m., I'm often just flabbergasted at the prices of homes in Salt Lake City right now, and honestly throughout the state. My girlfriend has a house across the street from hers that just went up for sale. It hasn't been updated whatsoever since it was built, and it's not like a new house, It's just a small 2-bedroom, unfinished basement, that sort of situation. And it was listed for low 300s, and within the week, it had an offer. Like the first offer that came in was for $100,000 more than the asking price, and they're just still getting offers rolling in.
Yeah, because that's like how competitive the market is right now.
So like, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I have no idea how a person really can do that, and I am the furthest thing from financially savvy. So maybe I'm a terrible person to have this conversation with, but it is insane to me the amount of money that is needed to just own a home.
Yeah, and we're just talking about the Valley. We're not even talking about Park City, which is like insane anyways.
Absolutely.
But like so according to like, I mean, like if you take like a financial literacy class, what the baseline of like the proper home buying technique. If you buy a home the right way, you're supposed to save 20% because it saves you on your mortgage insurance. So 20% for a down payment. And then you're only supposed to let your mortgage take up 20% of your take-home pay. So based on the income of like younger generations and the prices of homes in Salt Lake City, like I think we're like truly fucked.
Yeah, I don't understand how that math could work out whatsoever for
I know, right?
for a person.
No, yeah, well, because
I mean, I can understand that sounds like a perfectly feasible thing to do for someone who has owned homes before,
right? Yeah,
because you sell your house and that's how you get that 20% down payment.
uh-huh.
But for someone who is literally just trying to save up money to buy their first house, and I do think that there are probably some programs in place that do help with that sort of situation.
Sure.
Where
And I don't think anyone is really like. I think probably the smallest percentage of people are actually abiding by that type of technique. But that's like the right way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's when I talk to people who do actually seem to know what they're talking about. That is what they talk. That is what they say.
Yeah,
the 20%. But it's just really, it is dramatic out there.
Yeah. So if you want to spend $100,000 on a home, you need to save $20,000 for a down payment. That's going to take a long time, depending on how much money you make. So by the time you save up $20,000, how much is the market going to change?
Exactly.
It could just keep going up and up and up. And if you're spending $100,000 on a house, you're buying in like Tooele,
maybe
like a shack into a condo in Tooele, maybe.
Yeah.
So if you're actually wanting to buy in Salt Lake, you're actually going to have to save up, like, if you're going to do it the right way, like $60,000. Again, I don't think most people do that.
No.
But, so people, but that ends up making it more expensive. So you're actually spending money on mortgage insurance, and now you're spending more than 28% of your income. So you really just kind of have to bury yourself if you want to like get a home.
I'm going to move back to Roy. That's where I always knew I would end up.
It is like, I do the same thing where I get on like Trulia. That's my app of choice. And I look around at like places in Salt Lake, and then I go over to Ogden, start looking at homes in Ogden. I'm like, damn, is it time to move back to Ogden? Like, or I mean, I guess not. I guess I could get a third level condo.
Yeah, but even the condos, you're looking, there is not a nice condo in like the downtown Salt Lake area for less than 300.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but it's bad.
Yeah. It's like a studio condo.
Yeah.
It really sucks. And so like, I was thinking as I was reading the story, if there was like something, I don't know if there's something like this that exists, but if there's something that like can protect Utah residents who were born here and want to invest in land in their own neighborhoods, it seems like one of those things where like there's so much money in real estate and probably a lot of lobbying that goes on between political leaders and the real estate industry.
100%. I absolutely believe that's true.
So it seems like silly that something like that could ever happen. Like, oh, we're going to protect Utahns from coastal creep. But man, if we could have some kind of like transplant tax for like people moving out of state to here, because I mean, if people keep doing like the tech industry is booming here. And if people from coastal cities start taking jobs in Utah and they start moving in after, you're going to make more as a server in LA than you are in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
But like, if you're taking a tech job, comparatively, you're going to be bringing a lot more money into Utah. So your buying power is going to be a lot better. And it's just going to push like people trying to save up for a home out and out and out and out and out. But yeah, it just seems like something needs to be done. I don't know. I don't think we can find the answer here, but it would be nice to hear from like a real estate expert.
Yeah, some form of transplant tax or like just some, Utah resident discount or something. Like I have no idea. But yeah, it's like why is it that like someone has to pay like 5 times as much to go to the U if they're coming from California, but they no such taxes on out-of-state home buyers, as far as I know. Who knows? Maybe there is, but
and
it's gross.
Yeah, you sell your house for like $1.2 million in California, and then you come here and you can buy like a huge plot of land in Salt Lake, or you can just buy a completely refurbished or newly built house in the valley or downtown. But all right, let's move on to the next story. So after sifting through hundreds of entries, the design contest for Salt Lake City's new flag came to an end last week as Mayor Aaron Mendenhall unveiled the new design. The design was actually not that of a single person, but the combination of two designs that had been submitted. The new flag features a sky blue bar on top and a white bar on bottom, representing the sky, snow, and salt of Salt Lake's namesake, and also features a seagull lily up in the upper left corner. Dan, what did you think of the flag?
Well, I kind of had when I first saw that it was announced, I was just completely confused because I was actually keeping a pretty close watch on this because I'm a fan of design and I'm a fan of flags in general, and I like Salt Lake, and I was just really, really excited to get our like Adobe stock current Salt Lake flag out of here because it is just one of the worst things I've ever seen. And I was like, that flag doesn't exist on the finalists. I was really confused. I was like, wait, hold on. That's not a real flag that was submitted. And then, I read a little further into Mayor Mendenhall's Instagram post, and it was like, we combined two. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty shitty.
I know, right?
Like, it didn't sit well with me that they just decided to mash two designs together with no like, care for the intentionality that went into those designs, you know? But I read an interview with at least one of the young ladies, I sound so old right there, with one of the people who designed, with one of those young gals that designed the flag. I believe that she was a student at West High. Yeah. And she seemed pretty stoked that it was chosen. So, I mean, I guess I can't really be the one mad here, but I'm still going to be mad. You can't just make a FrankenFlag.
Did she design the seagull lily, or did she design the two bars?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I think the original, where the two bars came from, the design was like a beehive logo over the two bars, and they just took away the logo, kept the background, and then put the seagull lily that's on another flag.
I really liked a lot of these flag designs too. That's why I'm kind of bummed that I think that there were some really, really great choices, and they just decided not to choose any of them.
I didn't see it in this article that I got this from, but there was like a $3,000 prize.
Yeah.
Well, how did that work? Did they split it?
I guess they split it.
That would suck.
Yeah, that's such bullshit.
That would suck so bad. Just like, you only get half of it. You guys did each half of the design work. You guys are about 50% quality.
Yeah.
We're going to combine those.
I mean, I will say, just completely like taking a step back, it's just such an improvement though over the
it really
flag.
is. Yeah.
But it really doesn't sit right with me, the whole way that it all went down, because like I said, I mean, you guys, I think you can Google, if you Google just Salt Lake City flag finalists, like you can find that page that has all of those, and there were some really good ones on there, and I don't know, I'm kind of bummed that they didn't.
So the story with the last flag is actually very similar. According to Wikipedia, which I found out today that there is a Wikipedia for Salt Lake City's flag.
Wow.
Because it has a long, colorful history. So the last flag came in 2006 while Rocky Anderson was mayor, and they had a contest. Like, every Salt Lake City flag has been done through a contest.
Amazing.
So in 2006, Rocky Anderson was mayor. They had a contest, but the city council reviewed like 50 different entries, and they didn't like any of them. So they just made their own, and that's how we got the 2006 flag.
Yeah, the Shutterstock one.
Yeah.
Like, you could name any stock image website, and that's pretty much like, it's just a Salt Lake vector drawing with like some really, really bad text.
It's not even a Salt Lake City vector drawing, because if you go onto Shutterstock and you search Salt Lake City skyline vector, there's some really detailed, well-made like silhouettes of our skyline. The flag looked like someone Googled how to use the pen tool and then just like had at it. And they were just like the temple and that building. And
oh, it's so bad. I'm looking at it right now. It's so bad.
Yeah. And then the font is like the Impact meme font.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. So I like I don't know who was on the city council in 2006, but the gall of them to just be like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I got this. I got this. Just let me look on YouTube for some tutorials real quick, and we'll get this flag made up. But I think it honestly speaks to like this kind of, this is kind of an ongoing theme with this podcast too, which is we're kind of critical of the attitude towards design.
Yeah,
people don't seem to appreciate like good design
and just kind of creation.
Yeah, and this like all these flags have come from contests. So before 2006, did you see the very first Salt Lake City flag?
No, I don't believe so.
So I think it came in came it was approved in, 1963. So the old one was from 1963. Again, it was a contest that was run by Deseret News. Why is Deseret News choosing the flag?
Yeah, that's a good question.
But it's like this kind of, it almost looks hand drawn. I'm not sure. Like in 63, they don't have Adobe, so I don't know how they would have put this together. But it shows like a sunset coming over these mountains, or I guess it would be a sunrise coming over the mountains. And then there's seagulls up top, and there's like a beehive shape over it. And then there's a pioneer wagon, and then there's pioneers on the side. And then there's a ribbon across the bottom that says Salt Lake City. And then in quotations, this is the place. And so Rocky Anderson, the reason why he wanted to change the flag in 2006 was he said it wasn't as inclusive enough, and it was too geared towards Mormonism.
Yeah.
So he wanted to change it up. So yeah, it's like, again, they're having a contest. I don't know if there was a prize for the first contest. The second contest didn't even have a winner. Someone from the city council just threw it together, I guess, or maybe they had like a kid that had a design class. But why not just hire a designer? Why not just use that $3,000 to hire a designer to study the city for a month and come up with like a really cool design so we can have some like lasting iconography, and, you know? And also, maybe we should do this with the Utah state flag. How do you feel about the Utah state flag?
I don't like the Utah state flag. I would be so down to get a new flag.
Redesign it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who has a cool flag? Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado's flag's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It's like pretty basic, pretty clean.
Maryland has a great flag.
I haven't even seen what Maryland's flag looks like.
Oh, yes, you certainly have. It's on everything Baltimore has ever put out, whether it's sports.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. That one's pretty cool.
I love just kind of coat of arms sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like whatever thing the Utah one is, just a beehive with like just too many bald eagles, I guess. But
yeah. Yeah, the bald eagles and the beehive, yeah. So maybe it's time to update the Utah state flag. A man has been charged with assault for throwing a punch at a fellow patron of a Cafe Rio in Cottonwood Heights. And no, it wasn't over who got the last ramekin of spicy ranch, but over the county's public mask mandate. Jonathan Crocker, a.k.a. Johnny Crocs.
Johnny Crocs.
A.k.a. the Smothered Burrito Brute.
I was wondering when we were going to make fun of this guy's name.
He was formally charged after an investigation where police determined that Crocker had entered a Cafe Rio without a mask to pick up an order. Employees asked him to wait outside or put on a mask, and when he refused, another Tex-Mex fanatic intervened. Crocker told the man to mind his own business and punched him. Crocker.
Do you think that was like like mind your business punch, or was it?
That's
like,
how it read in the article. It was like, hey man, could you just like wait outside? These people are working. Mind your business, swag.
Yeah. Unhinged.
Yeah. Crocker then left, drove to a relative's house, called a police dispatcher, and denied ever punching the guy. Bold strategy, Crocs.
I know. This man is like chaotic energy personified. Like from the article, he pulled up to the side of the restaurant. What? There's like not the parking lot. He left his car door open while going in to get the order. Again, what? He's acting like one of those crazy like Uber Eats people that like rushes into the restaurant. It's like, I need the food now.
Yeah.
But he is just a person trying to get that spicy ranch.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, just all of it is so funny to me. Like just the whole thing read like almost satire. The fact that he called the cops is so funny to me.
It was like almost like one of those YouTube social experiments that went wrong, where he's like, I'm gonna go into this and rile some people up and not wear a mask, and then halfway through it he realized that he forgot to hit record on his phone, and then he just punched someone and ran and bailed on the whole idea.
It very well also could be. This is the second Impractical Jokers synopsis we've had this in this podcast. This also just reads like them trying to get reactions out of the random bystanders in the store.
Yeah. And people do that. Like not even for like a YouTube thing. Like people don't even do it for the gram. They'll just do it because it makes them feel good.
Yeah.
And my favorite, like especially this year, these kind of public freakouts have been pretty much on a weekly basis. You see a new video of something like this. And my favorite version of this situation is where someone comes in and gives like a service worker shit, and the service worker stands up for themselves and just like owns them. And the happiest version of that is where you find up that there's like a follow-up and the business owner actually like rewarded their employee for sticking up for themselves, because oftentimes employees will not do that just to like keep their job, you know, and they can't like defend themselves because the customer's always right. Even Jay Crocs being an asshole.
Jay Crocs.
Yeah, I think there was one on Reddit this week of like a girl who was working in a hair salon, and she was like dyeing a customer's hair, like one of her regulars, and she was teaching an apprentice, and she was like, I want to have her finish up, and the woman's like, no, I don't pay for her to do it. I pay for. She's like, well, this is my business. I need to like her, and she just like started like arguing with her and kind of like treating her like shit, and then she did like a pump fake, like she was gonna punch her, and the hairstylist was like, no, fuck you, get out. And
Wow.
it was like, I think her name was Robin.
Robin.
Yeah, she's like, it was just funny. Like in the video, she's like, "Get out, Robin!
That's
Just get
amazing.
out." The lady just had to leave with all the hair shit.
You don't come back here.
But I just love it. I love. There was another one like a security cam footage of a guy grabbing a waitress's butt, and he did like a drive by.
Oh,
Butt
she
grab?
hit her with a haymaker?
She grabbed him by the back of the shirt and then pulled him down onto the ground and just started screaming in his face.
Nice.
And I think she got a raise. So
Good.
that's the best version of that story. Don't be like Jay Crocs.
Yeah, truly. Or Robin.
Mink ranches across Utah are getting a taste of the suffering they've been dealing out for decades. Over 8,000 minks have died in the past month due to a COVID-19 outbreak at various mink fur farms. Minks, which are basically like little semi-aquatic ferrets, are able to contract the virus due to a protein in their lungs. And mink farms have been struggling with COVID-19 infections in both farm employees and the minks that they harvest fur from. It should also be noted that mink farms have been struggling with business since trade has been blocked in China, which are like one of the biggest buyers of American mink.
Oh,
So mink farms are struggling.
they're
and-
not having a good time.
No, and you know what? I don't know how much I care.
Yeah.
You know? So this is actually kind of funny because something happened, I think last Thursday, before I even found this article about all these minks getting COVID. So my girlfriend works in the south part of the valley, and she went into work and she said like her office like smelled like shit, and she was like she's like, what's that smell? And she like searched everywhere to figure out where the smell was coming from, and was trying to air out her office and all this stuff, and then left. And then the next day came back and it still smelled like that. And she was like, what is going on? She talked to someone else and they were like, I have no idea. And she came home from work and she was like, I don't know what's going on. Like my office smells so bad. And when I left for work, I was walking out the parking lot and the air smelled bad. Like it was like in the air. And I was like, that's really weird. And so I started like Googling, and I went onto like the Salt Lake City Reddit. 8 hours before that, someone had been like, why does the air smell like shit in the South Valley? And people were like, it's the mink farms.
Duh.
And apparently when they slaughter these minks, it gets really stinky.
Really?
Like really bad. Yeah. And we determined there's 2 mink farms. One in just like the center of the valley in like West Jordan. And then there's another one just over the point of the mountain in Lehigh. And we kind of determined that the Lehigh one was probably the one that she was smelling.
One that was, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it was like extra stinky because all these minks are dying and they had to harvest them as quickly as possible. They did say in the article though that if you buy, mink fur from them, you're not going to contract COVID because it doesn't work like that.
Oh.
So trying to keep the brand alive.
That's good.
But I don't really feel bad for these farms at all. It seems like kind of a shitty practice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton about mink farming. When I saw that this was in the rundown, it just immediately shot into my brain. There was this kid that I hung out with at the end of junior high into high school. He was older than me.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we became associated, but we hung out a few times, and then he kind of just dropped off the face of the earth. And then it turned out that it was because him and some other vegan activists had broken into a mink farm and released hundreds of mink.
Oh, what?
And I think that some of them ended up dying from stress, and some ended up getting hit by cars and a bunch of other stuff. So
probably.
Maybe other ways to use your activism. But yeah, I found the article from 2008 actually while I was waiting. So I thought that was just a real weird blast from the past.
Yeah, that is weird. I didn't even know these things existed until this weekend when I started looking into it, and I was like, wait, do people still by mink coats. Like that seems like a.
Well, is Minky Couture actual mink?
I looked into that
Is
because
it?
that's the only kind of thing I could think of. Like I was like,
Big
people don't.
blankets.
Yeah,
I feel like there's tons of mink blankets or fake mink blankets.
Minky Couture blankets are not made out of mink.
Okay.
They're made out of the fabric is polyester.
Interesting name.
Yeah. So it's like fake mink, which I mean, it's fine. It's
Yeah,
just polyester.
that's totally
It's fine.
fine.
But yeah, I'm like, I feel like it, other than like a 20s like flapper girl who's an extra in the Great Gatsby movie, like who's wearing mink? You know,
Yeah,
it
that's
just
a
seems
really
like a
good
very
question.
weird thing. But then looking into the article, it seems like China is like where they get most of their business.
Yeah.
So they're just exporting a lot of the fur to China. But I don't know. I guess, you do you. It just people
You
seem
do
to not
you.
like it. It seems like there's maybe we need to infiltrate and see what the business practices are like.
Yeah.
We'll put on an American flag button up and get some spy glasses and go apply for a job
That sounds
at
like
the mink
a
farm.
plot to the Impractical Jokers.
Oh shit! Is that the third? Is that the second one of the episode or the third one?
I don't.
God damn. All right, that's gonna do it for news. Let's move on to our feature. Okay, so this, my friends, is the 2020 Utah Restaurant Draft. And how this is going to work is Dan and I are going to take turns drafting certain restaurants in certain categories.
Yep.
So this is going to be snake draft. So
Okay.
we'll flip a coin. See
Okay.
who goes first, and then we'll do snake draft. But we're going to draft in 5 different categories: breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, and food truck.
Do the categories have anything to do with the order, or is it just any order? Like, other than us taking turns, like, are we draft breakfast, then we draft lunch, then we draft dinner?
Nah, let's
Okay.
draft. We can draft whatever. at
Whatever
any
we
point.
want.
Yeah, you just
Perfect.
need one for each position.
I don't know if I actually let you lay out the whole categories.
What do you mean?
Did you actually list all the categories before I cut you off and asked you questions?
Oh no, yeah, I did. Yeah, so breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, and food truck.
All right.
Okay, so
I have
we
a
gotta figure
coin.
out who goes first. Here.
Oh, you have an app for a coin? I have a real life coin.
Oh, just go ahead. Yeah, let's do it
All
analog.
right. What do you want? Heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
It is heads.
Damn.
So
Tails fails.
I will go first.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna go second. Do I get to choose?
Wait, what do you mean?
I want to go. I want to go second.
You want to go
'cause it's
second?
Snakes.
Okay. Dang. So you actually have strategy going right now.
I want to go second.
Okay. I'll go first. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with breakfast,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take Ruth Steiner.
All right. That is perfect.
I'm a big Ruth Steiner fan.
I really like Ruth Steiner as well. That's up Parley's Canyon, right?
Immigration.
Okay.
Immigration Canyon.
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy.
Great.
I'm a big biscuits and gravy fan. It's a good metric, biscuits and gravy, to see if a breakfast place is good,
Absolutely.
and they like kill it. Like it's like you show up, you get the biscuit with the jam, and then you order more biscuits with the gravy. It's just a biscuit fiasco. And they also have like really good Benedict's. Are you a Benedict fan?
I'm not a big Benedict fan because I don't really like hollandaise,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
big-
support your love of eggs Benedict.
So biscuits and gravy, good Benedict's, great patio.
Yeah,
It's like anytime you have a canyon patio,
for sure.
and anytime you can day drink in a canyon patio, that's also really good. They have
That's
really good
called
cocktails.
cheating life.
Yeah.
You
Also, I was going to say this too. After we go through these, we'll have to do some like shout outs to some of the backups that we have. Because do you have backups too?
I do.
okay.
Do you want to hold that for the end?
Yeah, we'll hold that for the
Okay.
end once we get the draft. So
Sounds
breakfast, I'm going with Ruth Steiner.
All right. So I got the next 2 picks. I'm going to start with dinner,
Okay.
and I'm going to choose Slackwater. And in terms of what I really like to get from Slackwater is I personally love the Iron Horse pizza with spicy marinara. You
Yes.
cannot beat it. It's just pepperoni, some sausage. You got your red pepper and onion. It's very simple.
That's the basic. It's a classic.
Yeah, and it is just one of the most amazing things. A backup option there would be the tikka masala pizza, which is also just fantastic. And you
so-
combine that with a Melvin Sampan Asian style Imperial Pilsner. I even gave you a beer
Beer recommendation.
recommendation.
I like it. I had Slackwater on my list.
I know. I figured that we probably both would have had that.
I had
one,
Slackwater
so.
Ogden specifically.
Well, yeah. I mean, I figured that's where I would
Yeah.
choose as well.
Yeah.
I've only been to the Sandy Slackwater one time.
Yeah,
it was
me too.
perfectly delightful.
I've only picked up from there during the pandemic. I
Gotcha.
haven't sat down there, but I like the Ogden vibe. I like where the restaurant is in Ogden.
Also
I like
on
that
a
area.
river.
On a river, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, good patio situation. And yeah, the Iron Horse I've gotten in a calzone before, and it's like
Ooh,
really
that
bomb.
sounds
They do any of
delicious.
their pizzas in calzones, but also they have a really good Hawaiian and like a barbecue chicken pizza.
Yeah.
Bomb pizzas. all around.
Honestly, I could choose like 6 different pizzas
Yeah.
from Slackwater that I love. So that's my dinner choice. And I'm going to move on to another Ogden staple for breakfast, and that
Okay.
is going to be Jeremiah's.
Nice.
I don't know why I chose breakfast since you already have. I could have just saved that for last. But strategy got the best of me. Something I really love about Jeremiah's is the Cowboy Benedict, which is just like a play on the Eggs Benedict, except for it doesn't have hollandaise sauce. It's just biscuits and gravy with eggs on top, some
Boom.
cheddar
That's-
cheese.
That's all you need.
You know, I love that. I also love
So
a
good.
good country fried steak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they also have that. And amazing cinnamon scones.
Yeah. That's I was
Amazing
gonna say
cinnamon scones.
what Ruth Steiner does for biscuits is what Jeremiah's does for scones.
Absolutely.
That's also a great sign of like a solid breakfast place, is if they have like a staple, whether it's your scones or your biscuits. Yeah, that's a great pick. I haven't been to Jeremiah's in forever.
I know. I have not either.
I want to go again.
Been
Damn.
a very long
I
time.
haven't been anywhere in forever. What am I talking about?
True.
All right. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go for my dinner choice, and I'm gonna go with the Bayou.
Great choice.
Love the Bayou. Good beer selection.
Great beer selection.
They
They have an app on your on like the phone marketplace, like
they have their
iTunes.
own app.
And yeah, iTunes and Android have an app in their marketplace for the Bayou's beer menu.
I didn't even
So,
know that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
fantastic stuff.
Yeah, love a restaurant that has an app rollout. They also like just have food that you don't find around here a lot of the time. So like the things that I usually get there, crawfish étouffée, really good. Really rich too. You can't have an appetizer before that one. You have to
No.
go. You have to like prepare for crawfish étouffée, or Cornish game hen. They just take
The Cornish game hen is insane there.
It's so good.
It's very
yeah,
good.
it's really, really good. They just take like a Cornish game hen and deep fry it. Deep fry that some bitch. Yeah, and then you can just hang out and have a couple beers, eat a Cajun food.
I love Cajun food.
Yeah.
Give me those Cajun fries.
Yeah. And the
Every
Cajun pasta.
time.
My girlfriend goes for the Cajun
The
pasta.
Cajun pasta is very
Really
good. Honestly, like that place has so many good options.
Yeah.
I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of appetizer, the first time there's something called alligator cheesecake. And I remember I
damn.
went there and I was with someone who ordered alligator cheesecake. And I was like, oh, weird. You were one of those people who eats dessert before lunch. And no, it's a savory cheesecake. So it's got like tomato sauce on top. And it's like,
interesting.
it's like an actual like appetizer. And
Yeah.
they have jambalaya, which is just this
jambalaya
jambalaya gumbo
Jambalaya is insane.
mix that
it's
is
so good.
very, very good.
Yeah, again, very rich. You have to
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
prepare.
You can't be
Yeah.
eating that alligator cheesecake before you order the jambalaya.
Yeah, in a world with like fake Mexican food across the valley,
Yeah.
you need to hold on to these places because
Exactly.
you're never gonna all the stuff that they have out the menu at the Bayou you can't find anywhere else. Okay, so for my lunch choice, I actually was gonna go for a Slackwater lunch.
Nice.
Yeah,
Lunch and dinner, you can get creative with lunch and dinner in this.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with my backup for lunch, which is Pretty Bird Chicken
Nice.
downtown. And then like again, it's like a pretty small menu. So
yeah, there's not a ton of options.
Yeah, it's
there.
not a whole, but I love a place like that.
No,
Again,
yeah, keep
like
it
the,
simple.
like the scones and the biscuits. You need to have a staple, and if you could just do one thing right, then it's often pretty awesome. So I get the hot chicken sandwich.
You get it hot?
Yes.
I was going to ask your heat index on this.
Yeah. Hot if I'm I don't know. It's like
If you don't have to return to work.
yeah. I have to set aside a few
Yeah.
hours and to get it hot. I do like it hot. But if their medium's actually pretty spicy too. Like
The medium
Brings the
is
heat.
where I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I could eat the hot, but it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's an experience, you know.
And I've never had their, because they have it even like one up from that.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like the hot behind?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't even know what that's like.
I
because
wouldn't
their
want to
hot's-
know what that's
yeah.
like.
Their hot's pretty.
They have
already.
insane fries.
Yeah,
like
their
the fries and whatever dipping sauce they serve with their fries is just.
Ooh, and we
so,
could get
so
we
good.
could get into a whole conversation about fries and
Mhm.
the different types of fries, but love a crinkle cut.
I love a crinkle cut too.
Yeah, and whatever seasoning they put on there is just bomb.
It's all great. I'm a
Um,
big fan.
Yeah.
That was my backup dinner, by the way. Just
Oh,
so
was
you,
it?
Just so you do know, yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
I had Pretty Bird as my
Yeah.
backup dinner.
Also, great location, like Regent Street,
Mhm.
and they have like a little patio area, and you can get a wine in a can
Oh yeah,
at the Pretty Bird.
I love a good wine in a can.
Yeah. So it's a good experience all around. All right, so your pick.
I'm gonna go with dessert, and I'm going to choose gourmandise.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
I should have gone for my dessert.
Yeah, I already had selected dinner. But gourmandise, man, I'm simple personally. Like what I like to get from gourmandise is just a cannoli. I just love a cannoli so much. But they do have plenty of options in their baked goods. I love the peach in quotes. It's called the peach, and that's just 2 rolls soaked in peach syrup, filled with custard, and rolled in sugar. And it looks like a peach. It's so good. I love so many things from gourmandise.
Gourmandise is incredible, and I mean, since I was gonna pick it anyways, I already have my like menu item already thought out, and it's just cheesecake. I'm a cheesecake
Yeah.
guy. Just love a cheesecake. I like a fruit cheesecake. I'm not like a huge chocolate. I like a fruit cheesecake, and if you want to send it home, a beer, like a dark beer.
Yeah,
So like cheesecake and like a stout.
that sounds delicious.
insane.
Give me a coffee
So
stout
good.
with a cheesecake.
Yeah, coffee stout and a cheesecake is incredible.
That
So
sounds great. I get one more pick.
that's right, you do.
So now I get lunch. I'm gonna go with lunch. I'm gonna skip food. I'm gonna save food truck for last because
Okay.
that's the one I care the least about, I think.
Okay.
This is really tough for me because both of my choices for lunch are still available, and I figured they both would be, but I don't know which one I want to choose. So I'm gonna go with the one that I certainly like frequent the most, and that is Hires Big H.
Ooh.
I love
a
Hires
Utah
Big
classic.
H. I just love the Big H. Keep it classic.
Yeah.
Give me the Big H.
Yeah.
Take the tomato off. Add some bacon. That's all I want for every meal. Of every day, really.
Of every day.
Like I genuinely could eat Hires every day. It's so good.
Yeah, it's like one of those like kind of classic drive-in burger places, and it seems like it did come from that era.
Oh,
Like, I
for
don't
sure.
know the history of that.
I don't
that
really
place,
either.
but it seems like it kind of has that old kind of timey diner feel. But yeah, it's like it's just like it's not trying to overdo their burger thing. Like I love Lucky
No.
13.
Oh yeah.
Like it's good, but it's like a different type of thing.
We could
you
have a
know?
whole conversation about like what constitutes the best burger because everybody talks about how Lucky 13 is the best burger in Utah. And I don't necessarily disagree. I just think
Yeah.
it's so much more of a novelty item than like an actual
Right.
like
Yeah.
burger. Like if I want a burger, I want to just go get like a very simple burger.
Yeah, and even as much as I love Pretty Bird, like their chicken sandwich is incredible. Sometimes it does seem like a little extra,
Yeah.
you know, where you're like, dial it back just a tad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel sometimes about Lucky 13.
Yeah.
Hires Big H is just like that right down the middle.
Yeah. They have the
like-
best bun I've ever tasted.
Yeah, and
Really,
It's not
like
even
it-
like there's.
it
It's
is
not,
such
it's
a
not-
good bun.
There's no fuss with it. Either.
No fuss at all. It's
It's
just,
just like a buttered bun.
it's just a buttered bun, a patty with cheese, some lettuce, and some tomato if that's what you're into. I personally don't like tomatoes that much. And then they put their fry sauce on it. And it is just glorious.
No
So
fuss. That's the way it should be done.
Those are my 2 choices.
Okay, so I'm gonna finish this off with. Well, I mean, yours still my dessert choice. So
I apologize.
So my official choice is I think it's Dolcetti
Okay.
Gelato.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? 9th
Mhm.
and 9th. They have like I'm a ice cream fan.
Yeah.
Love an ice cream, but I love coconut. Like I love coconut ice cream or coconut cake. I'm not even a cake fan. I don't like cake that much, but if it's cheesecake or coconut, then
You're into it.
I'm into it. And they have this like I don't even know if it's been a minute since I've been there, but there was like this coconut rice gelato that was like insane.
That sounds really good.
That and then there's an ice cream that came from I think they're called Normal that I had at this restaurant one time that was insane. But
There's
like,
a normal truck inside of Charlie Square.
Oh, really?
And their ice cream is insane. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Like,
the
I
one-
love that place.
there was a restaurant that I went to that got their ice cream from Normal, and it was a charcoal ice cream with like
Yeah.
a honey drizzle on it. And it
Yeah.
was like crazy good. So like that sticks out. But like, yeah, that Dolcetti coconut rice gelato is insane. And then I wanted to give a shout out to the now defunct Cobbler Cove in Farmington. Have you ever heard of this place? There was a place in the Farmington, what is that mall called? The
Farmington Mall. I have no idea what it's called.
Crossroad. I don't know. It's like it's the
Yeah.
it's the giant big shopping center in Farmington. And there was this little shop and it was called Cobbler Cove.
Yeah.
And it was like they just had bowls of cobbler. It's like, what do you want? You want peach cobbler? You want blackberry cobbler?
Farmington Station, I believe, is what it's actually
Farmington
called.
Station. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah. And it was like it was just the weirdest concept for a dessert like joint. But it was like make your own cobbler. So you choose your cobbler and then it comes in a bowl and it's like, what toppings do you want? So it was like frozen yogurt for cobbler. And it was so like, you just go in there and you're just like, whoever owns this, their heart is in the right place, you know?
I love it.
And me and my girlfriend went there one time and it was awesome. It was so good. Yeah. And then like a month later, we were like, we should go check out Cobbler Cove. And it was closed.
That
and
is
so they closed down.
Incredibly sad.
Freaking tragic.
Great catch.
Thanks, man.
For those viewers, Jordan almost dropped his water on his
Right
laptop.
on my laptop.
And he saved it. Since you were talking about kind of like obscure ice cream flavors, I do want to point out or just shout out Palette, just a restaurant on Third West, has one time I was eating there and they had two options and I got both. They had an olive oil ice cream and a lavender ice cream, and both of those just screamed to me. And they were delicious. They were just so delicious. All right, sorry.
Do you wait, hold on, I had to. You like a pistachio ice cream?
I love pistachio. Are you asking like what my favorite ice cream is?
Well, sure, yeah.
Favorite ice cream would be mint chocolate chip, probably, or Play-Doh.
Yeah.
I love
Mint
Play-Doh
chocolate
ice
chip fan,
cream.
too.
My backup, just for transparency, I know we're gonna get to this at the end, but my backup for
Was that your stomach? This conversation that we're having. That's like perfect for this segment. It's just
my backup was Far's ice cream in Ogden.
Oh yeah,
for
dude.
dessert.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I just found out that there's a Far's and Holiday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it's like connected to like a shawarma restaurant. It's just like this little strip
Interesting.
mall next to a gas station. And I was like, oh shit, I want to go get some Far's ice cream. They have like the best Play-Doh, right?
Yeah, that's my
Play-Doh, yeah.
favorite.
Their Play-Doh's insane. All right, so my food truck choice.
All right.
I'm not sure how to pronounce this properly, so if I butcher it, I'm sorry, but I think it's pronounced balabe.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that one's really good.
It's Senegalese food, and they're in this like little orange food truck, and they usually show up at Fisher, but they're all over the place. Like I think they're operating like every single day, and it's like one of those kind of unique eating experiences where it's like you don't get this food anywhere else. They have like a peanut sauce poutine.
Delicious.
Yeah,
I love peanut sauce.
I'm a huge fan of poutine in general, but they just like have this like kind of spin on it. It's like this like peanut sauce and it's got like peppers and stuff and it's so good. And then I'm a huge shawarma fan. And they do, like a chicken shawarma wrap that's awesome. But like anytime that they go to Fisher, I'm
You're
just
there.
like I have to get their food. It's so good. So yeah, that's my food truck pick.
I love it. My food truck pick is Jamaica's Kitchen. The first time I ever encountered Jamaica's Kitchen was at the Utah Beer Fest. After Jordan, our friend Weston, and I just happened to meet a woman named Jamaica that got us into the beer fest for free because she had extra tickets.
Holy crap. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she did not own Jamaica's Kitchen, just so everyone knows, like, that was just, I felt I had to go to Jamaica's Kitchen to pay it forward for Jamaica letting me into this beer fest for free. But they have a jerk chicken burger.
Ooh.
No, just a jerk burger. There's no chicken involved. It's a burger.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely insane. It's like the perfect, it's just like the jerk chicken sauce or the jerk sauce.
Yeah.
The burger patty and then their own coleslaw.
Damn.
And it's insane. But I mean, you could get the jerk chicken meal or any number of other things there. They got the plantains. Like,
dude,
it's all so
plantain.
delicious.
Yeah. The balabe has plantains too.
Oh, really?
Like, dude,
there we go.
Platanos, man. Anytime that those are on a menu, I have to get them. And that's like, man, the food trucks. I think we need to keep the food truck scene alive because, like, again, it's like giving us access to all this food that we just never get.
Absolutely.
Like, and sometimes you're like not sure. I mean, like, I've never opened a restaurant, but I would imagine that if you're trying to bring like a new type of cuisine to, like, you know, Wonder Bread ass Utah, it might be a little scary trying to do something extreme, and maybe it's not as big of a risk to do it in a food truck. But we've seen like certain food trucks get enough success to where they can open up like a brick and mortar place. So
for sure.
Go out there and support your food trucks. Did you have did you have like a backup?
For the food truck?
Honorable mention for a food truck?
I put a couple. I put Taste of Louisiana on there, which I just encountered recently.
Yeah.
Had
Really
some chicken
good.
and waffles that I just absolutely loved. I'm a sucker for chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
It's very basic, but I just love the Cluck Truck. They've got
me too.
That buffalo chicken wrap is very, very good.
I went Cluck Truck also on my honorable mentions. I chased Cluck Truck around.
Yeah.
Because I'm like a chicken tenders fan.
Yeah.
But I like when you can do like a chicken tender type thing. It's not even like chicken tenders because it's not like processed chicken meat. It's like legit chicken. They do. I call it chicky parm, but it's not chicken parmesan.
Yeah.
They're just chicken, which is just like a big chicken tender that they like chop up, and then Parmesan fries, and like that, and like a Fisher beer is like
It's a very
insane.
nice.
It's so good.
It's a very nice time.
So love Cluck Truck. Any other backups that you wanted to shout out?
I do have a couple of backups. So for breakfast, I shouted out the Olympian a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, so I felt I'd leave them off this time.
Yeah.
That is my number one. Like if I really want breakfast, I'm probably gonna get it from the Olympian.
I had follow-ups from that episode when people were like, "Yes, he's
really?
correct. That is the hangover spot."
Nice.
Yeah, like that's apparently has that reputation.
Nice.
Awesome.
I also put down Harushka's Kolaches on there.
Love Ruska's kolaches.
Yeah, I like to get the sausage and egg with the jalapeno pepper in it.
Damn, I haven't been there in forever either. That place is so good.
I mean, I have had it. I have not been there in a very long time.
Yeah.
For lunch, my backup was Siegfried's Deli, where I get the
Great choice.
schnitzel with the side of spätzle
The schnitzel and
and the
Spitzel.
Bohemian Viennese lager.
Ooh, yeah. I got the Reuben last time I was there. It was really good.
And then I already said my dessert backup was Far's, and
Yeah.
my dinner backup was Pretty Bird. So
Yeah. Hell yeah. So my breakfast backup was Over the Counter Cafe. Have you been there? So it's like it literally in this like strip mall on, I think, 33rd South and 23rd East.
okay.
Up in the Mill Creek area, and it's just this tiny little divey cafe.
We used to live right by there, and I've never been there.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's so good, and it's like this. It's just like they do a thing called a garbage hash, which is just all breakfast foods just mashed together in this plate, and it's like one of those places where you go in and it's packed, but you get seated quickly. Your coffee's never empty, so like the service is insane. It's all smiles from the whole staff. They're like happy to be working there.
Yeah.
And their food is just like no fuss, great breakfast food.
Yeah.
And like I think the fryer and the where they cook is just right there in the middle of the restaurant. So you can see them just like cooking food the whole time. It's really good. So shout out to Over the Counter Cafe. And then also on my dinner my dinner choice, I had a backup, Sicilia Mia, which is an Italian restaurant. I usually go to the one in Holiday on Highland, but they just opened one downtown. But they do like this insane carbonara.
I love a good carbonara.
Yeah. And they got like the good spaghetti too. It's not like the like thin ass Olive Garden shit. It's like the thick spaghetti.
Al dente.
It has some weight to it.
Exactly.
And the way they cook the carbonara is they like bring out this giant cheese wheel, and the spaghetti's cooked. So they get the cooked spaghetti and they drop it in the cheese wheel. They dump some kind of flammable thing on it and light it on fire and spin it in the cheese wheel. And then they plate it and like make it all nice right there. And there's like a little flour on your plate and stuff. And me and my girlfriend went there for like an anniversary date, I think last year or the year before. And this like little old Italian man just came up with his guitar and he like serenaded us, which seems like an awkward situation, but was like actually like really nice.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, this is like awesome. So yeah, Sicilia Mia, great experience. So that's going to do it for our 2020 restaurant draft. Maybe we'll have to revisit this in a year
Yeah, that
And,
sounds fun.
Yeah, I think that.
See
that
how
would-
many restaurants are still in business.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to bring it to that sad of a level, but
That's a dismal way to put it. Yeah, maybe we can revisit this next year. But we're going to take these results for our draft and make a little graphic that we're going to put up on Twitter and Instagram.
and you can participate as well.
Yeah,
We'll make a blank one so you can draft your own.
Draft your own restaurants in each category. And again, we like doing these things because it helps give people, choices. You don't go to Cafe Rio every week.
No.
There's other places to get food, and we have really good food here in Salt Lake. You just got to know where to find it. So that's why we like to do these things. And hopefully, if you guys participate, we can find some new places to go check out too. So that's going to do it for today's show. Go follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Holy Hive Utah, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
Bye.